Have you ever looked in the mirror, perhaps after decades of living, and felt a quiet whisper, a subtle tug at your spirit? It's not about wishing for youth or clinging to what once was. Instead, it's a deeper, more profound yearning, a longing for a different chapter, a new beginning that honors all you've become, yet dares to explore who you still might be. It's a moment where the tapestry of your life, rich with threads of joy, challenge, and countless experiences, seems to whisper for new colors, new patterns to be woven into its remaining precious length. This feeling isn't unique. It's a universal human call for growth, for transformation, even when the world tells us we should be settling into a predictable rhythm. It's the persistent question that arises when the routines that once defined us begin to feel like comfortable ruts, when the echoes of past ambitions fade and a new, uncharted landscape stretches before us. Do you find yourself pondering what else life holds, beyond the roles you've played and the expectations you've met? Are you seeking not just change, but a deeper, more meaningful evolution of self, one that truly resonates with the wisdom you've gathered over a lifetime? This isn't about erasing your past, but about building upon its robust foundation, using its lessons as scaffolding for a stronger, more vibrant you. This inner stirring, this quiet aspiration for a renewed sense of purpose and peace is precisely where our journey begins today. We're not talking about superficial shifts or fleeting fads, but a profound, enduring reinvention that starts from the very core of your being, transforming your perspective, your resilience, and ultimately, your serenity. Life, in its boundless wisdom, often presents us with these pivotal moments of profound change. The empty nest, a shift in career, the loss of a loved one, or simply the quiet contemplation that comes with the passage of years. And with these moments comes the beautiful, sometimes daunting invitation to redefine ourselves, to step into a renewed sense of purpose and peace. This desire to grow, to evolve, to become more, is a fundamental human yearning that truly transcends age. It's about recognizing that the journey of self-discovery doesn't end with youth. In fact, it often deepens and becomes even more meaningful as we accumulate wisdom and experience. We've reached a point in life where we possess a richness of perspective, a clarity born from navigating countless storms and celebrating countless victories. This is precisely the time to harness that accumulated wisdom for an enduring transformation. But how do we truly reinvent ourselves? Not merely on the surface with fleeting changes, but from the very core of our being. How do we navigate this process with grace, strength, and an unwavering sense of inner calm, especially when the world around us often seems chaotic or uncertain? For this profound journey, for understanding how to fortify our minds and cultivate an unshakable sense of peace, regardless of external circumstances, we turn to the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. The Stoic philosophers, from Epictetus to Seneca, and most notably the contemplative emperor Marcus Aurelius, offer not just abstract theories, but incredibly practical, actionable guidance for living a life of virtue, resilience, and profound contentment. Their insights are not just for ancient Romans. They are powerful tools for anyone in the modern world seeking to master their emotions, find clarity amidst confusion, and build an inner citadel of strength that protects them from life's inevitable challenges. They teach us that true freedom and happiness come not from controlling what happens to us, but from controlling how we respond to it. This philosophy, centuries old, speaks directly to the heart of what it means to be truly reinvented, to be fundamentally at peace with oneself, resilient in the face of adversity, and clear in one's purpose. If you are seeking to cultivate a mind that is strong, serene, and deeply happy, a mind capable of embracing change, and finding profound meaning in every chapter of life, then you are in the right place. We invite you to join us on this continuous journey of wisdom and self-mastery. Make sure to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel here on YouTube. By doing so, you'll gain access to a treasury of videos, each designed to illuminate these ancient paths to inner strength, profound peace, and enduring happiness, helping your mind become a true fortress against the storms of life. Let us embark on this remarkable reinvention together, guided by the timeless wisdom that empowers us to live our most meaningful and serene lives. The path to this profound reinvention, especially as we navigate the rich, textured landscape of our later years, isn't always a smooth, sunlit avenue. In fact, it's often fraught with invisible obstacles, silent whispers of doubt, and deeply ingrained habits that can feel like impenetrable walls. We might find ourselves bound by chains that are not made of iron but of routine, the comforting, predictable patterns that have defined our days, months, and even decades. There's a subtle yet powerful allure to the known, to the familiar rhythm of life, even if that rhythm has grown monotonous or no longer truly serves the vibrant spirit within us. The very comfort of this routine can become a formidable barrier, making any deviation feel like a betrayal of stability or an unwise venture into uncharted waters. Beyond the magnetic pull of habit, we often contend with the silent, sometimes oppressive, weight of past expectations, both our own and those projected onto us by family, friends, and society at large. For many, life has been a series of defined roles: parent, spouse, professional, provider. These roles, while deeply meaningful, can sometimes obscure the individual beneath them, leading to a sense that our identity is inextricably linked to these external definitions. When these roles shift or diminish, as they often do in later life, a vacuum can form, accompanied by the daunting question, who am I if not defined by what I've always done? This can lead to a quiet resignation, a feeling that this is just how things are, a subtle acceptance of a life that might feel less vibrant or purposeful than we secretly long for. The thought of stepping outside these perceived boundaries, of dismantling the very identity we've carefully constructed over a lifetime, can trigger a profound sense of anxiety and even a fear of judgment from those who expect us to remain fixed. Perhaps the most insidious challenge is the fear of the unknown. Our minds, wired for survival and predictability, naturally resist venturing into unfamiliar territory. As we age, this natural caution can amplify, morphing into a potent fear of failure, of looking foolish, or of simply not having the energy or capacity to adapt. We might silently ask ourselves, am I too old to change? Is it too late to learn something new, to pursue a dormant passion, to forge a different path? These questions, left unanswered, can become self-fulfilling prophecies, cementing us into a state of inertia. We might find ourselves clinging to the past, not out of fondness, but out of an unspoken dread of what the future, unmapped and uncertain, might demand of us. The regrets of roads not taken or the echoes of past mistakes can also weigh heavily, convincing us that our best years are behind us and that any attempt at reinvention is merely an exercise in futility. This can manifest as a deep-seated belief that we are too set in our ways, a convenient excuse that masks a deeper fear of vulnerability and the discomfort of growth. Moreover, society, for all its advancements, often paints a narrow picture of what life in our golden years should entail. Quiet reflection, perhaps leisure, but rarely radical transformation or bold new beginnings. This unspoken societal narrative can subtly reinforce our own doubts, making any yearning for reinvention feel like an anomaly or even an act of defiance against a perceived natural order. The external world often rewards youthful dynamism and novelty, sometimes inadvertently devaluing the wisdom and experience that comes with age. This can lead to a sense of being overlooked, or feeling that one's contributions are no longer as relevant, further dampening the spark of possibility. Ultimately, these aren't just external barriers. They are often the deeply ingrained echoes of limiting beliefs within our own minds. They are the narratives we tell ourselves about what's possible, about our own capabilities, and about the nature of aging itself. These internal struggles, the resistance to discomfort, the attachment to identity, the fear of judgment, and the pervasive anxiety of stepping into the unknown, are precisely the challenges that Stoic philosophy was designed to address. The Stoics understood that true freedom isn't found in a world without problems, but in a mind that can navigate those problems with clarity, resilience, and unwavering inner peace. They recognized that the greatest battles, and therefore the greatest victories in reinvention, are always fought and won within the silent confines of our own consciousness. It is within this rich, challenging inner landscape that our Stoic journey to reinvention truly begins, for it is here that we possess the ultimate power to choose our perceptions, shape our character, and cultivate the enduring serenity that allows us to bloom anew, no matter the season of life. The Stoic compass, navigating your inner transformation. Having acknowledged the subtle yet formidable challenges that often arise on the path to reinvention, the invisible chains of routine, the silent weight of past expectations, and the pervasive fear of the unknown, we now turn our gaze towards the profound wisdom that offers not just a way through, but a luminous path forward. This isn't about merely coping with change. It's about actively, consciously, and courageously shaping your inner world to meet the demands of a new chapter, to truly blossom into the person you are destined to become. The Stoics, those ancient masters of the mind, didn't offer quick fixes or superficial remedies. Instead, they bequeathed to us a timeless compass, a set of principles and practices designed to navigate the most turbulent waters of the human experience and to guide us towards an enduring state of tranquility and purpose. This section will serve as your practical guide, drawing directly from the wellspring of Stoic thought, particularly the profound reflections of Marcus Aurelius. We will delve into specific facets of this philosophy, each offering a unique lens through which to view your journey of reinvention. Think of these as essential tools in your toolkit, not just for understanding, but for doing, for actively cultivating the mindset and habits that will allow you to shed what no longer serves you and embrace the vibrant, authentic self waiting to emerge. We will explore how to strip away the layers of external identity to reveal your true core, how to transmute life's inevitable adversities into powerful catalysts for growth, and how to deliberately forge new patterns of being that align with your deepest values. We'll also consider the often overlooked dimension of how our reinvention impacts and is impacted by our connections with others. And finally, how to anchor this transformative process firmly in the power of the present moment. This is not a theoretical exercise. It is an invitation to a profound living philosophy that empowers you to not just survive change, but to truly thrive within it, building a life of profound meaning, resilience, and unshakable inner peace. Part 1. The Unveiling of the True Self, Beyond the Masks of Life. Imagine for a moment an ancient sculptor gazing upon a raw, unhewn block of marble. To the untrained eye, it's merely stone, heavy, inert, undifferentiated. But the sculptor, with eyes of vision and hands of wisdom, sees something more. He sees the masterpiece hidden within, waiting to be liberated from the superfluous rock that encases it. His work is not about adding to the marble, but about removing everything that is not the sculpture. This profound image, my dear friends, is a powerful metaphor for the Stoic journey of self-reinvention, particularly as we stand at the threshold of a new chapter in our lives. It is the unveiling of the true self, a stripping away of the masks we've worn, the roles we've played, and the external definitions that have, perhaps, inadvertently obscured the luminous core of who we truly are. For decades, we've donned countless masks: the diligent professional, the nurturing parent, the supportive spouse, the dutiful child, the reliable friend. Each mask, worn with intention and often with love, served a purpose. They helped us navigate the intricate dance of life, to fulfill our responsibilities to connect with others, and to contribute to the world around us. But what happens when the stage changes, when the roles shift, or when the audience disperses? Do we find ourselves adrift, feeling a profound sense of loss, as if the very essence of who we are has vanished with the external circumstances? This is the silent crisis that often accompanies the desire for reinvention, particularly as we mature and the external scaffolding of our lives begins to change. We have, perhaps unconsciously, allowed our identity to become inextricably intertwined with our achievements, our possessions, our social status, or even the opinions others hold of us. The Stoics, with their piercing insight, would gently remind us that this is a perilous path, for anything external is ultimately beyond our control, and thus cannot be the true foundation of our enduring self. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly urged himself, and by extension us, to retreat into the inner citadel, not just as a place of refuge, but as the very seat of our authentic being. He understood that true freedom and lasting peace could only be found by distinguishing between what is truly ours and what is not. Your job title, your financial portfolio, your social circle, even your physical appearance, these are all externals, subject to the whims of fortune and the passage of time. They are the marble chips, the dust, the superfluous rock. They are not you. So, who then is the you that remains when these layers are peeled away? The Stoics would say that your true self resides in your reason, your judgment, and your volition, your capacity to choose, to assent, to perceive, and to act in accordance with virtue. This is your inner daemon, your guiding spirit, the divine spark within you that is unassailable and eternal. It is the part of you that observes, that evaluates, that decides how you will respond to every impression, every event, every challenge. It is the essence of your character, the wellspring of your wisdom, and the source of your inherent dignity. To unveil this true self is not to become aloof or uncaring about the world. It is to become profoundly anchored within yourself, so that the shifting sands of external circumstance cannot dislodge your inner peace. Consider for a moment the profound liberation that comes with this understanding. If your worth is not tied to your accomplishments, then the fear of failure diminishes. If your happiness is not dependent on external approval, then the sting of criticism loses its venom. If your identity is not defined by your roles, then the transition from one chapter to the next becomes an opportunity for expansive growth rather than a crisis of being. This unveiling is an act of profound self-compassion and courage. It requires a willingness to sit with the discomfort of uncertainty, to gently question long-held assumptions about who you are, and to listen to the quiet voice of your inner wisdom. How do we begin this unveiling? It starts with radical self-awareness. Take moments each day for quiet introspection. Observe your thoughts, not with judgment, but with detached curiosity. When you feel a surge of emotion, anger, anxiety, joy, sadness, pause. Ask yourself, what is truly mine in this moment? What is merely an external event? And what is my judgment or reaction to it? Practice the art of disidentification. recognizing that I am not my thoughts, I am not my emotions, I am not my possessions. You have thoughts, you experience emotions, you possess things, but none of these define the fundamental you. This process is akin to a gentle yet persistent excavation. You are digging through layers of accumulated beliefs, societal conditioning, and past experiences to reach the bedrock of your authentic self. It's about recognizing that the core of your being is already whole, already wise, already complete. Reinvention, then, becomes less about creating something entirely new and more about remembering and reclaiming the magnificent essence that has always been there, waiting patiently beneath the surface. It is the most profound form of self-love, allowing you to live with an integrity that radiates from within, unburdened by the need for external validation. When you truly unveil this inner self, you discover an inexhaustible source of strength, resilience, and authentic joy, ready to guide you through every remaining season of your remarkable life. Part 2. The Alchemy of Adversity, Transmuting Pain into Purpose. Life, in its boundless generosity and its relentless challenges, often presents us with moments that feel like raw, unyielding pain. We encounter setbacks, losses, disappointments, and the quiet ache of regret for roads not taken or mistakes made. When we embark on the journey of reinvention, these past adversities, or even the current difficulties we face, can feel like insurmountable boulders blocking our path, or heavy anchors dragging us back into familiar patterns of despair or resignation. The conventional wisdom often tells us to avoid pain, to push it away, to pretend it doesn't exist. But the Stoics, those profound alchemists of the soul, offer a radically different and infinitely more empowering perspective. That adversity is not a hindrance, but the very raw material from which true growth and profound purpose are forged. It is the crucible in which our character is refined, and where the most meaningful aspects of our reinvention truly take shape. Imagine a blacksmith standing before a roaring forge. He doesn't shy away from the intense heat, the deafening clang of the hammer, or the sparks that fly. He knows that the raw, unyielding iron must be subjected to immense pressure and heat to become a finely tempered blade, sharp and resilient. Similarly, the Stoics teach us that the difficulties we face are not random acts of cruelty, but opportunities, often disguised as burdens, to practice virtue, to strengthen our resolve, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world. Marcus Aurelius, who faced unimaginable pressures as emperor, plagues, wars, betrayals, personal losses, famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just a clever turn of phrase. It's a profound invitation to engage with our difficulties, not as victims, but as active participants in our own transformation. This concept, often referred to as the obstacle is the way, is the heart of the Stoic alchemy of adversity. When a challenge arises, our natural inclination might be to complain, to resist, or to wish it away. But the Stoic approach invites us to pause, to acknowledge the reality of the situation, and then to ask, what virtue can I practice here? What lesson is this moment trying to teach me? How can I use this very obstacle as a stepping stone to become more patient, more courageous, more resilient, more wise? The pain itself is not the enemy. It is our judgment about the pain, our resistance to its presence, that causes true suffering. When we shift our perspective, when we choose to see adversity not as a curse, but as a rigorous training ground, then every difficulty becomes an opportunity for growth, a chance to deepen the very qualities that will define our reinvented self. Consider the regrets that might linger from your past. A missed opportunity, a harsh word spoken, a path not pursued. These can feel like heavy chains binding you to a past you wish you could undo. But the Stoic doesn't dwell on what cannot be changed. Instead, they would encourage you to transmute that regret. How? By extracting the wisdom from it. What did that experience teach you about yourself, about others, about life? How can that hard-won lesson inform your choices now in this very moment as you embark on your reinvention? The past is a teacher, not a prison. The pain of past mistakes can become the fuel for future wisdom, provided we choose to learn from it rather than simply lament it. This alchemy also applies to the losses we inevitably face. The passing of loved ones, the end of a career, the fading of physical abilities. These are profound challenges that shake us to our core. The Stoics don't ask us to be emotionless. They acknowledge the natural human experience of grief and sorrow. But they also remind us that while we cannot control the event of loss, we can control our response to it. We can choose to honor the memory of what was, to appreciate the impermanence of all things, and to find new purpose in the present moment. The empty space left by a loss can become an invitation to cultivate new connections, to explore new interests, or to dedicate ourselves to a cause that honors the spirit of what was lost. The very act of enduring, of finding meaning amidst sorrow, becomes a testament to our inner strength and a powerful facet of our reinvention. To practice this alchemy, cultivate the habit of reframing. When faced with a challenge, consciously shift your internal narrative. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Instead of, "This is impossible," consider, "How can I approach this with courage and wisdom?" This isn't about denying reality. It's about choosing your perspective, which is the only thing truly within your control. Embrace the discomfort, for it is often at the edge of our comfort zone that true growth occurs. Like the athlete who pushes through muscle fatigue to build strength, we must lean into our mental and emotional discomfort to forge resilience. Remember, the Stoic path is not about avoiding the storms of life, but about learning to sail through them with skill and grace. Every scar, every challenge overcome, every lesson learned from adversity becomes a unique thread in the rich tapestry of your reinvented self. These aren't just marks of survival. They are badges of honor, testaments to your profound capacity for growth, and powerful sources of purpose that can illuminate your path forward. When you learn to transmute pain into purpose, you become an unstoppable force, capable of facing any future with an unshakable inner calm and a profound sense of meaning. This is the true power of Stoic alchemy, turning the lead of suffering into the gold of wisdom and virtue. Part 3. The art of deliberate practice, cultivating new habits of being. We've spoken of unveiling the true self and transmuting adversity, but reinvention, profound and lasting, is never merely a matter of philosophical understanding or shifts in perspective. It is, at its very heart, an active, ongoing, and deeply intentional process. It is the art of deliberate practice, the conscious, consistent cultivation of new habits of being, new ways of thinking, feeling, and acting that align with the reinvented self you are striving to become. Imagine a master musician not content with merely understanding the theory of music. They dedicate countless hours to scales, to etudes, to repetitive exercises, honing their craft with unwavering discipline. Their artistry emerges not from innate talent alone, but from the relentless, deliberate practice that transforms abstract knowledge into embodied skill. So too with the art of living a Stoic life, and with the profound work of self-reinvention. The Stoics understood that virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is not a theoretical concept to be admired, but a living, breathing practice to be embodied daily. It is through consistent, small, intentional actions that we reshape our character, much like a river carves a new path through stone, not by brute force, but by persistent, gentle flow over time. When we speak of reinvention, we are talking about more than just changing external circumstances. We are talking about a fundamental shift in our internal operating system, a repatterning of our responses to life. And this, my friends, requires deliberate practice. Consider the power of habit. For decades, our lives have been shaped by routines, many of them unconscious. We react in certain ways, think in certain patterns, and engage with the world through familiar lenses. While some habits serve us well, others may be hindering our growth, keeping us tethered to an older version of ourselves. The beauty of deliberate practice, informed by Stoicism, is that it empowers us to become the conscious architects of our own character. We are not passive recipients of our habits. We are their creators and therefore their transformers. How do we begin this deliberate practice? It starts with intentionality. What specific virtues or qualities do you wish to cultivate in your reinvented self? Do you seek greater patience, more profound gratitude, unwavering resilience, or a deeper sense of inner calm? Once identified, these become your daily practice ground. For instance, if you wish to cultivate patience, then every moment of irritation, every delay, every frustrating encounter becomes an opportunity to practice. Instead of reacting impulsively, you pause. You take a breath. You remind yourself of what is truly within your control, your reaction, not the external event. This isn't easy, especially at first, but with each conscious choice, you are literally rewiring your brain, strengthening the neural pathways for patience and weakening those for impatience. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal reflections, constantly reminded himself to act in accordance with reason and virtue, even in the smallest moments. He didn't just think about being just. He strived to be just in his daily interactions, in his judgments, in his leadership. This is the essence of deliberate practice, identifying a desired quality, and then actively seeking out opportunities, however small, to embody it. Another powerful aspect of deliberate practice is the morning ritual. How you begin your day sets the tone for your entire existence. A Stoic morning might involve quiet contemplation, reviewing your intentions for the day, and mentally preparing for potential challenges. It could be reading a passage from Seneca or Epictetus, meditating on the impermanence of things, or simply taking a few moments to cultivate gratitude for the present moment. This isn't about rigid adherence to a strict schedule, but about creating a sacred space for self-cultivation, a daily touchstone that anchors you in your commitment to reinvention. Similarly, an evening reflection is equally vital. Before sleep, take a few moments to review your day. Where did you act in accordance with your values? Where did you fall short? Without judgment, simply observe. Did you practice patience when provoked? Did you respond with wisdom instead of emotion? This isn't about self-recrimination, but about honest assessment and gentle course correction. It's about learning from your experiences, celebrating your small victories, and planning for improvement the next day. This consistent self-assessment is the feedback loop that fuels deliberate practice, allowing you to refine your approach and accelerate your growth. Furthermore, deliberate practice involves embracing discomfort. True growth rarely happens within our comfort zones. If you want to cultivate courage, you must willingly step into situations that evoke fear. If you want to develop resilience, you must consciously face setbacks and learn to bounce back. This isn't about seeking out unnecessary hardship, but about recognizing that the very challenges we often avoid are precisely the ones that offer the richest opportunities for building the qualities we desire. It's about transforming resistance into a training ground, seeing every moment of difficulty as a chance to practice the virtues of your reinvented self. Finally, remember that consistency trumps intensity. A small, intentional practice engaged in daily will yield far greater results over time than sporadic, grand gestures. It is the drip, drip, drip of water that eventually carves canyons. So, start small. Choose one virtue, one habit, one new way of being, and commit to practicing it deliberately every single day. The journey of reinvention is not a sprint. It is a marathon of conscious choices, each one a brushstroke on the masterpiece of your evolving self. Through this art of deliberate practice, you are not just changing your life. You are fundamentally changing who you are, cultivating a character that is robust, virtuous, and profoundly at peace, ready to meet any challenge with grace and wisdom. Part 4. The Symphony of Connection, Reinvention in Relation to Others. As we delve deeper into the profound journey of self-reinvention, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, it's crucial to acknowledge a dimension that, while deeply personal, is never truly solitary: our connection to others. While the core work of reinvention happens within the quiet chambers of our own minds, we are, by our very nature, social beings. We exist within a vast, intricate web of relationships: family, friends, community, and even the broader tapestry of humanity. The Stoics, far from being isolated philosophers, understood this deeply. They recognized that true human flourishing, or eudaimonia, is inextricably linked to our ability to live in harmony with others, to contribute to the common good, and to navigate the complex symphony of human connection with wisdom and virtue. Therefore, our reinvention is not complete, nor is it truly authentic if it does not consider how we engage with the world and the people within it. Imagine a single, exquisite note played by a solo instrument. It might be beautiful in isolation, but its true power and resonance are revealed when it harmonizes with others, contributing to a larger, more magnificent symphony. Similarly, your reinvented self, while strong and independent, finds its deepest expression and purpose when it resonates within the collective human experience. This section explores how our personal transformation influences and is influenced by our relationships, and how Stoic principles can guide us in maintaining our integrity while fostering meaningful connections during this period of profound change. One of the cornerstone Stoic concepts in this regard is oikiosis, often translated as affinity or appropriation. It describes the natural human tendency to extend our circle of concern, starting with ourselves, then moving outwards to our family, friends, community, and ultimately, all of humanity. As you reinvent yourself, this principle becomes a powerful guide. It reminds you that your growth is not just for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of those around you. A more patient you, a more resilient you, a more compassionate you. These qualities ripple outwards, enriching your relationships and contributing positively to your social environment. Your reinvention, therefore, becomes a gift to the world, a testament to the enduring human capacity for growth and contribution. However, reinvention can sometimes create friction in existing relationships. As you shed old patterns and embrace new ways of being, those around you, accustomed to the old you, might feel unsettled or even resistant. They might not understand your new priorities, your newfound detachment from externals, or your commitment to inner virtue. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes an invaluable guide. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself to tolerate others, to understand their limitations, and to remember that their actions often stem from ignorance rather than malice. He urged himself to practice empathy and forgiveness, recognizing that while we control our own choices, we cannot control the choices or opinions of others. When navigating these social dynamics during your reinvention, remember the dichotomy of control. You cannot control whether others approve of your changes, whether they understand your journey, or whether they choose to adapt to the new you. But you can control your response to their reactions. You can choose to communicate your intentions with clarity and kindness, to set healthy boundaries where necessary, and to remain steadfast in your commitment to your own growth, without needing external validation. This doesn't mean becoming rigid or uncaring. It means cultivating an inner strength that allows you to remain true to your virtuous path, even when faced with misunderstanding or resistance. Furthermore, reinvention often involves a renewed sense of duty and contribution. As you clarify your values and purpose, you might find yourself drawn to new ways of engaging with your community, whether through volunteering, mentoring, or simply being a more present and compassionate neighbor. The Stoics believed that humans are rational, social animals, and that our highest good is found in living in accordance with our nature, which includes contributing to the welfare of the collective. Your reinvented self might discover a deeper calling to serve, to share your accumulated wisdom, or to simply be a beacon of calm and reason in a turbulent world. This act of giving back, of connecting with a purpose larger than yourself, can be one of the most fulfilling aspects of your transformation. Consider the power of active listening and compassionate communication. As you evolve, your perspective will shift. When interacting with others, especially those who might be struggling to understand your changes, practice truly listening to their concerns without immediate judgment. Seek to understand their viewpoint, even if you don't agree with it. Respond with kindness and clarity, explaining your motivations from a place of inner peace rather than defensiveness. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also demonstrates the very virtues you are cultivating: patience, understanding, and wisdom. Finally, remember that the symphony of connection is not just about giving, it's also about receiving. As you reinvent yourself, allow yourself to be open to new connections, new perspectives, and new forms of support. The Stoic path is one of self-reliance, but not isolation. Lean on those who uplift you, who understand your journey, and who celebrate your growth. Your reinvention can inspire others, and in turn, their journeys can inspire yours. By consciously engaging with others from a place of virtue and understanding, your reinvention becomes a living testament to the power of human connection, enriching not only your own life, but the lives of all those you touch. This is the beautiful paradox of Stoicism. By mastering your inner world, you become more capable of truly connecting with and contributing to the outer world, playing your unique and harmonious note in the grand symphony of humanity. Part 5. The Philosophy of the Present Moment, Anchoring Your New Chapter. We have journeyed through the unveiling of the true self, the alchemy of adversity, the deliberate practice of virtue, and the profound symphony of connection. Now we arrive at the very anchor of your reinvention, the timeless wisdom that binds all these threads together, the philosophy of the present moment. In a world that constantly pulls us into the anxieties of the future or the regrets of the past, the Stoics offer a radical yet profoundly liberating invitation to inhabit fully the now. This isn't merely a philosophical concept. It is the very ground upon which your reinvented self stands, breathes, and flourishes. Without a deep appreciation and mastery of the present, your reinvention risks becoming an elusive dream, forever deferred to some future ideal, or perpetually undermined by the lingering shadows of what has been. Imagine a magnificent ship setting sail on a grand voyage of discovery. It has been meticulously prepared, its sails strong, its crew skilled, its compass true. But if the captain is constantly looking back at the harbor it left, or obsessively scanning the distant hazy horizon, the ship will inevitably lose its course. True navigation, true progress, happens in the present moment, by skillfully adjusting the sails to the current wind, by observing the immediate currents, and by making conscious decisions about the very next action. Your reinvention is that grand voyage, and the present moment is the only place where you truly have the power to steer your course. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, ceaselessly reminded themselves of the fleeting nature of time and the singular importance of the present. "Do not disturb yourself by picturing your life as a whole," he wrote. "Do not let your thoughts range over the multitudinous troubles which you have undergone and will have to undergo. But in every present difficulty, ask yourself, what is there in this that is unbearable and beyond my power?" This is not an instruction to ignore planning for the future or to dismiss the lessons of the past. Rather, it is a profound directive to recognize that all your power, all your agency, all your capacity for virtuous action and inner peace resides only in this very moment. The past is gone, unchangeable. The future is uncertain, beyond your control. Only the present is truly yours. For those embarking on reinvention, this philosophy is particularly vital. The weight of past experiences, the old self that you are shedding, can often pull you backward, whispering doubts and regrets. "I should have done this differently. I'm too old for that. I've always been this way." These are echoes from a time that no longer exists, yet they can powerfully undermine your efforts in the present. The Stoic practice is to gently acknowledge these thoughts, observe them without judgment, and then consciously release them, bringing your attention back to the task at hand, to the breath you are taking, to the choice you are making right now. This is a continuous act of liberation, freeing yourself from the mental chains of what was, so you can fully inhabit what is becoming. Equally, the allure of the perfect future can be a snare. We might tell ourselves, "I'll truly be reinvented when I achieve X or when Y happens." But this postpones your happiness, your peace, and your authentic self to a hypothetical future. The Stoics would argue that eudaimonia, human flourishing, is not a destination but a way of living, a state of being cultivated in the present. Your reinvented self is not a future ideal. It is a way of being right now, in this moment, with the choices you make, the virtues you embody, and the peace you cultivate. How do we anchor ourselves in this powerful philosophy of the present moment? It begins with mindful awareness. Pay attention to the simple, often overlooked details of your daily life. The warmth of your coffee cup, the sound of birdsong, the feeling of your feet on the ground. These seemingly mundane moments are the fabric of your life, and by fully inhabiting them, you ground yourself in reality, away from the swirling anxieties of the mind. Practice single tasking, focusing completely on the one thing you are doing, whether it's washing dishes, having a conversation, or working on a new project. This deliberate presence cultivates focus and reduces mental fragmentation. Another powerful practice is gratitude for the present. Even amidst challenges, there is always something to be grateful for in the immediate moment. The breath in your lungs, the warmth of the sun, the simple fact of being alive. Cultivating this gratitude shifts your perspective from lack to abundance, from anxiety to peace, right here, right now. This philosophy also deeply intertwines with amor fati, or love of fate, which we touched upon earlier. When applied to the present, it means embracing this moment exactly as it is, without wishing it were different. It means accepting the circumstances you find yourself in, not with resignation, but with a courageous willingness to engage with them, to find the opportunity for virtue within them, and to make the best possible choice now. This radical acceptance of the present moment, however imperfect it may seem, is the ultimate act of freedom and the most powerful catalyst for genuine reinvention. The journey of reinvention is not about erasing your past or fast-forwarding to a perfect future. It is about becoming profoundly present to the unfolding of your life, moment by precious moment. It is about recognizing that every single now is an opportunity to choose virtue, to practice wisdom, to cultivate peace, and to embody the magnificent evolving self you are becoming. By anchoring yourself in the philosophy of the present moment, you not only maintain the momentum of your reinvention, but also discover an inexhaustible source of joy, purpose and unshakable serenity, illuminating every step of your remarkable new chapter. The unveiling. When the inner landscape shifts, we have navigated the subtle currents of self-awareness, unearthed the hidden gems within adversity, cultivated new habits with deliberate practice, and embraced the profound symphony of human connection, all anchored in the power of the present moment. Now we arrive at the pivotal point, the apex of this transformative journey, not a singular, thunderous explosion, but a profound, quiet unveiling. It is that sacred moment, or rather the accumulation of countless small moments, when the inner landscape of your being fundamentally shifts. It's when the philosophical insights of Stoicism stop being mere concepts in your mind and instead become the very fabric of your lived experience. Imagine standing on a windswept peak after a long, arduous climb. The mist that shrouded the valley below slowly, gracefully dissipates, revealing a breathtaking panorama you could only have imagined. The world doesn't change, but your perception of it transforms utterly. This is the essence of the climax in your Stoic reinvention. It's the profound realization that true reinvention was never about external makeovers, about chasing fleeting fads, or even about erasing the rich history of your past. No, it was always, undeniably, about an internal renaissance, a blossoming of the soul from within. This is the moment when the fear of age, of perceived limitations, of society's narrow expectations simply begins to dissolve like morning dew under the rising sun. You realize with a quiet, undeniable certainty that your years are not a burden, but a profound wellspring of wisdom. Every wrinkle, every scar, every gray hair is no longer a mark of decline, but a testament to a life lived, a journey navigated, a resilience forged in the crucible of experience. You recognize that you are not simply surviving the passage of time. You are thriving within it, seasoned by its lessons, strengthened by its challenges. The anxiety about running out of time transmutes into a purposeful urgency, a desire to fully inhabit each precious moment that remains, not out of dread, but out of a profound appreciation for the gift of life itself. This climactic shift isn't a magical endpoint where all problems vanish. Life, in its beautiful complexity, will continue to present challenges. The winds will still blow and the currents will still shift. But what has fundamentally changed is your inner compass, your anchor, your unwavering conviction in your own capacity to meet whatever arises with wisdom and equanimity. You find an unshakable sense of peace, not because the world has become perfect, but because you have mastered your response to its imperfections. The noisy clamor of external opinions loses its power, replaced by the resonant echo of your own inner integrity. You become impervious to the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, not by building an impenetrable wall, but by cultivating an inner spaciousness that allows them to pass through you without causing lasting harm. This is the glorious freedom that Marcus Aurelius sought and eloquently described. The freedom that comes from recognizing what is truly your own, your thoughts, your judgments, your choices, your character. It's the profound sense of self-ownership that empowers you to walk through life with dignity, purpose, and an unshakable serenity, regardless of the external storms. The fear of failure dissipates because you understand that the only true failure is a failure of virtue, a failure to act in accordance with your highest self. The need for external validation fades because your worth is now intrinsically derived from your own integrity and your commitment to living a life of meaning. The climax of your Stoic reinvention is the beautiful, quiet realization that you are not just reinventing your life. You are fundamentally reinventing your relationship with life itself. You are choosing to see every moment as an opportunity for growth, every challenge as a teacher, and every breath as an invitation to embody your truest, most virtuous self. This isn't about becoming younger, it's about becoming wiser, freer, more authentically yourself than you have ever been. It's the triumph of the human spirit, resilient, purposeful, and profoundly at peace, ready to embrace whatever comes next with an open heart and an unshakable mind. This internal renaissance is the greatest masterpiece you will ever create, painted not on canvas, but on the canvas of your very soul. Conclusion. As we bring this journey of Stoic reinvention to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound path we've walked together. We began by acknowledging that the desire for a new chapter, a deeper sense of purpose and peace, is a universal human yearning that transcends the confines of age. We then bravely confronted the silent challenges that often hold us back, the comfortable ruts of routine, the weight of old expectations, and the daunting fear of the unknown. But rather than succumbing to these obstacles, we chose to equip ourselves with the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, turning to the insights of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius to guide our transformation. We explored how true reinvention begins with an unveiling of the true self, shedding the masks and external definitions to reconnect with the unassailable core of our reason and character. We learned the alchemy of adversity, discovering how life's inevitable pains and setbacks are not curses but powerful crucibles for forging resilience, wisdom, and profound purpose. We then embraced the art of deliberate practice, understanding that lasting change comes not from grand gestures but from consistent, intentional cultivation of new virtuous habits in our daily lives. We recognized that our personal evolution doesn't happen in isolation, but within the symphony of human connection, where our reinvented self can contribute meaningfully to the world around us. And finally, we anchored our entire journey in the philosophy of the present moment, realizing that all our power, all our peace, and all our capacity for flourishing reside only in the eternal now. What emerges from this Stoic path is not a fleeting makeover, but a profound internal renaissance. It's the quiet triumph of understanding that your age is not a limitation, but a rich reservoir of accumulated wisdom, that your past is not a prison, but the very crucible that forged your strength. You discover an unshakable inner calm, a resilience that allows you to face life's complexities with grace, and a clear, unwavering sense of purpose that radiates from within. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to choose your response to life, to define your own worth, and to live with an integrity that is impervious to external circumstances. It's about becoming wiser, freer, and more authentically yourself than you have ever been, truly embodying the Stoic philosophy in every aspect of your reinvented life. As our time together on this particular journey of reinvention comes to a close, remember that the path of Stoicism is not a destination, but a lifelong voyage of discovery and self-mastery. The insights we've shared today about unveiling your true self, transmuting adversity, practicing new habits of being, nurturing meaningful connections, and anchoring yourself in the power of the present moment are just the beginning. Each concept is an invitation to deeper reflection, a call to practical application in your daily life, and a stepping stone toward a more profound sense of peace and purpose. The wisdom of the Stoics is a boundless wellspring, offering guidance for every facet of modern life. If today's discussion resonated with your spirit, if it sparked a new understanding or ignited a fresh sense of possibility within you, then I warmly invite you to continue this incredible journey with us. Explore the other videos here on the Stoic Philosophy channel. Each one is crafted to offer further insights, practical strategies, and timeless wisdom that can truly empower you to navigate life's complexities with unshakable calm and unwavering resolve. And to ensure you don't miss any future episodes, any new compass readings for your ongoing voyage of reinvention, please take a moment right now to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel. Join our growing community of fellow seekers who are committed to cultivating stronger minds, finding deeper peace, and living lives of authentic happiness. Thank you from the depths of my heart for spending this precious time with me today. It is a true privilege to share these timeless truths with you. May your path be illuminated by wisdom. May your spirit be infused with courage. And may your journey of reinvention lead you to the most profound and authentic version of yourself. Until our next conversation, live thoughtfully, live bravely, and live well.
Thank you for watching this video here on the Stoic Philosophy. If you found value in this, I invite you to explore more videos on the channel. There's so much more wisdom to uncover. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.